Sup, I'm Ellie and welcome to the channel, and this is part 3 of a descent into style. Last week I asked you guys to create your baseline, which is to draw something exactly the way you usually would without changing a dang thing. Now the fun part starts. Now we're going to break patterns and do things completely different to how we usually do them. There's more than one way to do this. You can scour the internet and collect little bits of things that you like that naturally appeal to you, like maybe different ways to draw eyes, or different ways to draw teeth or hair, or different types of postures, or different ways to draw posture. If you like, you can also create a mood board of things that you like. I did that. Here's mine. Or if you want, you can just start drawing and just start changing things. Make it like little rough sketches. Don't commit to it like you would a fully rendered piece of art. Just little sketches, and just start intentionally changing things and doing things differently than you usually would. Something that I used to do a lot of is I used to look at references of portraits, and I would kind of sketch out the outlines roughly, and then I would just exaggerate it from there and do with it what I wanted. Things that I thought might look cool, or maybe something that I saw that I really liked, and try and incorporate that. So you can do that as well. I did do a lot of this already, from creating a mood board to experimenting with different styles and even creating like a final big piece. I don't want to say final because it's not final. I am still very much exploring, and I'm going to be exploring more in this video, but I did create like a big artwork that is a little bit different to what I usually do. They're still similar, but with some intentional changes. I did show you guys in the first part of the series, but here it is again. And I'm going to be doing it in this little book. Who remembers this book? I purchased this little notebook specifically for practice, and I started with hands, and I never returned to it again. But today is the day. And to start, I'm just going to warm up with some shapes and faces that I'm familiar with. And while I am broadly aware of it, something that came to the forefront immediately is the fact that the way I draw faces is usually very sharp and angled and long. I won't say that exploring with round faces isn't something that I haven't done before, but it's definitely something that I want to try more of. So that's what I lead up to. But first, more warm-ups. And to my absolute surprise, I will say that I actually quite liked how some of these came out, and I would like to explore with them a little more in the future. And I will say as well, I actually did really enjoy just drawing in this little practice book, and think I will do more of that. I have a lot of respect for the skill of art and love practicing, and haven't done a lot of it aside from just doing art. Which I know is practice in itself, but practicing like this feels different and takes the pressure off. Just look at that. Isn't she cute? So many possibilities. She can go in so many different directions. So many possible stories. Most of my characters have backstories, and all of my characters have names. Unless I don't like the character, in which case they don't get names. That's their punishment for not turning out right. Which I know makes no sense because I'm the creator. But we're not going to get into the technicalities of it now. All I'm going to say is that not everything has to make sense all of the time, okay? But since I am happy with these characters, what do you guys think about Ingrid for this first gal? I have no idea what she will look like in her final form, but I do feel like her features are hard enough to mirror an Ingrid. And then for this second gal, I'm thinking Jane. And boom, just like that, Dawn appeared. Right? The name Dawn feels fitting. Even though I didn't venture too far away from my usual style, I just wanted to warm up and leaned into what I do a lot of. But there are some changes and differences, and just look at the magic. This is what happens when you play and explore. I love how these guys came out, and I love the stories that are forming around them. Anyway, let's not forget what this video is actually about. So the key thing for me that I wanted to lean into for this video is a round face. I have in previous exercises stepped away from the perfectly round eyes because I do feel like that is my number one habit when it comes to my art style. Though I do lean into that for this drawing, with a slight twist though. And that is that she gets button eyes. And not just button eyes, she gets eyelids to her button eyes. And I have previously explored with button eyes, so it's again not a completely new concept to me. But there are slight changes in this character. Maybe not dramatically, which is a word I just now made up, and it's a combination of dramatically and drastically, and I couldn't choose which one to say, so I went with both. And you'll notice that I switched to a different sketchbook to do this drawing in. That's because I wanted to put a little more effort in it, but again, I didn't want to put so much effort into it so that it becomes like a whole serious art piece. The goal is to explore, and that's what I did. I was exploring. And I have to say, I really like how she came out too. It was a good day for character concepts. And her name shall henceforth be Florence. Doesn't she look like a Florence? I think I will keep her and explore with her in the future as well. I've lost track of all my characters. I have so many. And I say that, but I don't think I even reached the 100 mark. I feel like something needs to be done with these characters. They can't just exist in these sketchbooks and their stories never again told and their faces never again seen. But that's a whole other video for another day. Though I will say a picture is forming and I have a name for these characters. But not a name I chose. A name that someone else suggested and which I absolutely love. And that is my creepy cuties. They are the creepy cuties of the Ellie universe. Anyway, moving on. Here is the result of this practice and exploration. And I absolutely love her. I predict for the future that a more completed and skilled version of this character will exist on significantly better paper. But that's my attempt at breaking patterns and trying something new for this video. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. And if you liked it, like it, subscribe. And if you end up participating in any of these activities, please head over to my Patreon and post it in the community chat so we can all see it.